And there's a couple of handouts in there that you are more than welcome to digitally download. It has a copy of the presentation that we're going to be going over right now, as well as 2 other handouts. So you actually have a Smart Peels chart and then an informational sheet that has all the Smart Peels that kind of gives you that really abridged version of what is available by way of Smart Peels selection from Lyra Clinical. So I would encourage everyone to get a chance to just download and have a copy of those. They are wonderful reference pieces that you can utilize, and if needed, you can take notes on the presentation of the outline that we have here. So with that, give me 1 second. And Lou, why don't you make sure everyone can hear us and see us?
I'm seeing hellos coming from all over the place. Everybody can tell us where you're coming from, East Coast, West Coast.
Yes.
Great.
And while Miss Lou is doing that, I'm going to add one more download if I can find
Orleans, Wyoming. Hey, Bailey, nice to see you again.
1 second.
Oh, I love seeing all the same people that love to participate in these. Hi for all those employees of Lyra. Katie, I see you. Oh my goodness, they're at Nebraska, fabulous. Okay. Hi, Melissa. This is so great to see everybody. You know, every month when we do these complimentary classes that are specific to an amazing topic, this today being Smart Peels, Smarter Ingredients, which we love to talk about, of course. But it brings in people from all over the industry to have a look and see what Lyra's doing and what we're talking about. So it's great that you guys are all here. Those West Coast people, I love to see you. You know me, representing in Southern California.
Okay, so let's
have it coming along.
Yeah, so let's just give me 1 minute.
No worries. Everybody ready for the holidays? I say holidays because I look at, you know, Halloween as a holiday. Okay, the handout should be in, for those who are asking, if you were to look at in the tool box that we have, our little control panels that everybody gets, it will have a breakdown of like audio, dashboard, attendees. You should have a poll section, and then it should, under polls, it says handouts, and it's right now listed 3 of 15. So Brooklyn, are we seeing that yet?
And in just a second, there will be another handout that will be uploaded in there that we're going to talk about at the end.
Okay.
So, yoo-hoo. All right, well, let's get started if everyone can hear us and see us. And we are getting excited. So this is really a great introduction and kind of an overview of why Smart Peels, why Lyra Clinical, and frankly, why choose what we have. And one of the key things that I have to say is here at Lyra Clinical, with all of our founders being skincare professionals, being in the industry for, I will say, 25 to 30 plus years, and leave it at that. But one of the beautiful things about that is they've really, really have considered all avenues of aesthetics. So not just, you know, the esthetician that is going to do the day in or day out, that has their totally and completely reliable clientele, but there are so many other avenues of aesthetics that we have out there now, where aesthetics overall really has much more of a clinical flair, but we also still obviously can be in more of that wellness and that spa market as well. And so with that, this is where our Smart Peel solutions really have the ability to be customized to very specific clients, their lifestyles, as well as their skin conditions. And so when we look at that, when we look at a peeling solution overall, we really want to make sure as a licensed skincare professional to address what the skin needs. And if you have been through Lyra clinical trainings and part of our EDU, you know, oh my gosh, that is the phrase that we always say. And it always comes out of all of our educators' mouths because that is one of the things that we look towards. And we want to really make sure that we are optimizing the management of the skin, the overall skin health, as well as that functionality of the skin, that we want it to be in its best health as possible. And being able, of course, to be able to maintain that year round, where I think, you know, maybe out in the industry still they kind of offer those seasonal treatments and things of that nature. But with Lyra Clinical, we understand that we want to get the most return on our investment. And this is where we do have a variety of solutions, as well as a variety of levels of treatment that you can deliver to your clients and still have them be totally and completely satisfied with the visible results, as well as, again, maintaining that skin health. When we look at this, this is where you can find that a lot of our formulations have been updated, or we release newer formulations fairly frequently, just due to the technology that we have available and the ingredient innovation that is out there. But we also want to address and, of course, always make sure that we are doing it in a cost-effective manner, that, again, we want all to be successful and making sure that we have that opportunity for profitability. But we also want to make sure that, again, skin health and skin function. So we also should always be considering our barrier when we're looking at all of our solutions as well as our treatment protocols. So when we look at these core benefits, these primary benefits that we have with all of our Smart Peel solutions, a couple of things that we want to definitely kind of reiterate and look towards is the fact, again, of that customization, that all skin types and conditions have that opportunity. Lyrical was actually initiated in the international market. So making sure that we're addressing all Fitzpatrick types and giving all Fitzpatrick types, as well as all skin conditions, that opportunity for correction is going to be key. And so again, this is where you can find a variety of levels of those year-round treatments that we have available, especially with our hybrid treatments. And of course, making sure that we have the ability to target those specific skin needs. Now, I don't know about you, but Lou, when someone comes in, it's almost always not just one skin condition that we're looking towards, but usually a couple of co-issues that come along with that as well, wouldn't you say?
I 100% agree. I think that we do make a big effort in saying how everybody's aging, right?
Yes.
So we know everybody's dealing with that, but we also talk about the little conditions that they're dealing with. So if someone's dealing with acne, we know that person is also dealing with sensitive skin. They're dealing most likely with maybe some post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation. So all those different conditions really kind of interchange, one thing or another. And I think it's important that we have the ability to customize all of these treatments, like you're saying, with all the different skin types and conditions that are out there. There's no real reason why we can't customize something, do a hybrid with somebody, making sure that we address what they want to see, but also what we know we're trying to also aid them in maybe some other concerns that are a little bit more important in our mind. So they see acne, we see inflammation,
Yes.
you know what I mean?
Yes, absolutely. And this is where, again, we want to make sure that, just like the name indicates, Smart Peels, when we initiated that name and it had that, obviously that correspondence with Lyra Clinical, your Smart Peels, smarter ingredients. If you think of something that is smart, it's not just knowledgeable in one area. Even if you look at your smartphone, we don't just make telephone calls on it anymore, of course, but we have the opportunity to listen to music and stream videos and social media and all the things. And so this is where, again, we really want to make sure the efficiency of the solution has the ability to not just target that primary skin condition, but also the co-issues. We also want to make sure that we have the opportunity to provide the safest, most efficient pathway into that skin as well. And this is where, again, that ingredient innovation is really helping us to drive us to have these smarter formulations that we have within our actual line. Now, Lyra Clinical overall introduced most of our Smart Peel solutions in 2010, and we were actually one of the 3 very first clinical skincare companies to offer stabilized plant stem cell technology in a resurfacing solution. So overall, most definitely starting that trend, being ahead of the curve and being able to, again, offer multiple modalities to a broader range of skin conditions. With that, we have progressed. Initially, when we announced and had the opportunity to be able to incorporate our Mystica in our Mastec in our #1 selling VitaBright Smart Peel solution. And so as Mastec has had additional clinical studies and clinical papers delivered with Mystica, this is where we have found that Mystica is a beautiful natural retinol alternative. So we have the opportunity to address and have the benefits of retinol without any of that irritation, no inflammation whatsoever, as we know that Mastec is a beautiful anti-inflammatory. And of course, then we had our exclusive Pure Peel. Now, for those of you that haven't tried the Pure Peel, it is definitely a skin experience, as I like to call it.
100% agree. As it says, a sensory experience. It hits all the markers, right?
Absolutely. So with that, it definitely, you smell it, you feel it, you see it, and you absolutely love it. This is a protocol that clients will come in and they'll be like, I'm not so sure. It's lovingly nicknamed the pickle peel. But the beauty of it is the fact that it gives you that instantaneous result. And nobody else on the market right now has this solution because of the very unique combination of all of those active agents. And so definitely, once again, we have that opportunity to introduce something that nobody else has, that only Lyra Clinical can offer your clients, with that no downtime and those immediate skin results, just to feel brighter, tighter. And I must say, I absolutely love the way the Pure Peel makes my skin feel almost instantaneously, with that nice, just almost velvety touch that you can feel just with the skin tightening and refining almost instantaneously.
Yeah, and with the person that's actually prepped properly, obviously, going into that Pure Peel, the results after their first one immediately, like that's that go-to treatment where they're going to look amazing. We've seen at the interactive classes or at our purely clinical, where people experience the Pure Peel for the first time,
Yes.
and then they're like so wowed that you almost don't want to do anything else for a long time. It becomes that fan favorite, right? It's like a cult
Absolutely. Yes, but of course we were so excited to be able to offer, hasn't been a year quite yet, but our Exotech. So again, we are taking something brand new with a delivery system featuring liposalvation. Now with our liposalvation, this is introduced into 2 of our brand new Smart Peel solutions. So we take all of this innovative ingredient technology unique to Lyra, and we have the opportunity to branch out and really just embrace it with our skin, and being able to incorporate and again have that wonderful balance and encourage that natural healthy function and stimulate that within the skin. With our plant stem cell technology, for those of you new, Science Discovering Nature's Secrets is one of Lyra Clinical's initial and primary philosophies when we look towards formulating any type of ingredient. Because we have the opportunity, nature does provide us so many absolutely amazing and wonderful things, and then we have science to be able to perfect it. And plant stem cell technology really kind of is that epitome of Science Discovering Nature's Secrets. The 3 key things that we know about plant stem cell technology is it really works with our barrier to help with that barrier protection. As clinical skincare progresses, we understand that protection of the barrier and making sure that we don't overly disrupt it has become so very important because we understand now that healthy skin is going to be hydrated, plump, volumized. And we know, even our clients are having those injectables and things like that to complement their other clinical treatments that they're receiving, and as well as their home care that they are using at home. And so this is where we have the opportunity specifically to address that barrier with our plant stem cell technology. With that, we use 13 different plant stem cells throughout the Lyra clinical skincare system, anywhere from assisting and working with to strengthen the immune response within the skin, because we know that our skin is our immune system's first line of defense, also helping and assisting to prevent that transepidermal water loss. We want to maintain that natural hydration in the skin, but of course we are looking to stimulate that keratinocyte without over angering our melanocytes down in, on that epidermal dermal junction. We also want to look towards that restoration. This is where plant stem cell technology really kind of acts as skin's nutrient balm. It initiates that restoration, repair. It helps to rejuvenate those dermal cells with our fibroblasts, and really helping to restore that collagen production. But also it has the opportunity to address elastin health. Years ago, we didn't have that opportunity to even think about addressing elastin on a topical level, but we have the opportunity to now, especially with our orange plant stem cells that it's found within our VitaBright solution. And finally, of course, brightening, because over 98% of all Lyra clinical products contain brightening agents. So we have the opportunity again to address different stages of melanogenesis just within the variety of plant stem cells that we offer, specifically targeting brightening, such as lilac, madonna, lily, as well as sea fennel.
Yeah,
Are there
Tiffany,
any questions?
Just some questions regarding targeting different conditions, which is really kind of laid out quite nicely in our manual. For those who are new to us or considering Lyra, we have a very extensive manual that actually does do some guidance. But of course, we have the Smart Peels Advantage class, which really goes into understanding how we do the method to our madness.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that our Smart Peels Advantage course is available digitally, monthly, as well as you have the opportunity with your Lyra clinical representatives or one of our education team members to take that live digitally as well.
Yeah, and Alex is sending some big props to you right now, saying how much they love hearing you speak and you're so passionate about everything. And I agree 100%. I actually like to sit and listen to her too and remember, oh my goodness, I'm supposed to participate because I love listening to Tiffany speak. Let's see, we have another one. Okay, so great. Well, I'm so glad that we'll be able to get in touch with your reps. For those who run into any challenges with learning when you're new to the brand, please understand you have multiple ways to actually get support. So your rep is your brand manager is going to be your go-to a lot of the time because they're really there to help support you grow your business. And then education at Lyra Clinical is always a great resource if you want. We have a number of people that monitor that email address. So definitely, if we're not able to answer questions here, definitely reach out to us there.
Yes, and the education at Lyra Clinical, or you have the opportunity with our customer service at info@lyraclinical.com. And at the end, we'll have our 800 number listed as well. So you have the opportunity, again, to be able to utilize those resources. So whether it's texting, calling, old school on the phone, as I like to say, or emailing, whatever your a line of communication works best for you, all of those are available, and our reps can get in touch with you and be able to kind of take you through that next step. And we kind of have it a little bit laid out towards the end of the webinar that we can review as well. So with that in mind, we have our Mastech. Now, Mastech is exclusive to Lyra in the sense that we are using mastica, which is a resin from the mastic tree. But what makes Mastech unique is the fact that we use 4 different forms. And so with that, you can see here that we utilize the freeze-dried Mystica resin, oil, as well as the extract. Now, I could easily do an entire webinar on Mystica because I absolutely love it. I'm very, very passionate about it.
Yeah, and it's probably the one ingredient that is so widely used in so many of our products that just looking at our manual, I think I'm counting about 17 products that have this in it. One thing I would love to say is Tiffany does it properly, where I always do mastiha, and you say it like a real Greek. So how do we say it again?
Mystica. Yeah, well, I wish I was Greek. I always say
Yeah.
that I'm adopted because I've known some people for a very long time in that aspect. But a couple of side notes to just kind of look through or ponder and consider is the fact that Mystica, you can see here, it really addresses nearly every skin condition. Antimicrobial, anti-inflammatory properties. Now, obviously, this is going to help with acne, as well as pretty much any other skin condition when we're looking at aging, acne, hyperpigmentation, even rosacea. I will say Mystica is amazing for rosacea, and that's why you want to make sure that your rosacea clients are on our Pro Light serum as well as our BioHydra C serum as a sidebar. But with that, we have helping that prevention of the post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation. And of course, then we're initiating that healthy cell proliferation and minimizing pore appearance. Now, excuse me, obviously we understand that superficially we cannot reduce a pore size, but minimizing it is key. And so this is where, again, the Mystica resin really beautifully helps with that. Our Mystica oil has the most and highest concentration of terpenes. And so when we look at our Mystica in that regard as well, that Mystica oil, you really have that very unique smell. We do use Mystica only from the Isle of Chios, which is in the Mediterranean on the southern coast. And the reason why that we do that is because that Mystica has the most potent therapeutic properties. And so we actually work with the local co-op mastic tree farmers in conjunction with Mystica roots. And so you can actually find a little bit more information about that on our website, but very, very passionate about our Mystica and being able to offer it. And where people are like, how do you get results so quickly with Lyra Clinical? In my mind, I truly feel that it is dedicated to partly because of this one ingredient for sure.
I agree on that one too. So someone who actually suffers from post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation, I feel that obviously as 98% of our products have some brightening ingredients, whether it's tranexamic acid or like you said, these wonderful peptides, like that brighten the skin. And I am down to just using a, the glow drops, Delio drops. And sometimes when I want to go a little heavier, during the day, I wear our BB cream. Rarely do I wear the foundation anymore to help cover up that because my skin is so much more even toned.
Mm-hmm. So with that, we're looking towards, and you can find Mystica not only in our VitaBright solution, but in our Pure Peel as well. Because of, again, those terpenes that we were talking about with that Mystica oil, this is where we kind of offset a little bit of that, the acetic acid that is actually in our Pure Peel solution, where it does have a very unique smell. We like to say that our Pure Peel really gives you those TCA results without the chemical, without the downtime, because what we have is a very unique combination of ingredients. We're primarily using those carboxylic acids. So we're using acetic and jasmonic. So we have the keratolytic effects, or that, initiating a little bit of that desquamation on the skin, but it gives us access like our salicylic acid, but also gives us those beautiful results like our alpha hydroxy acids. So acetic acid overall is a wonderful Again, it's a wonderful component that we can use on all skin conditions. Now, jasmonic acid is in there to help strengthen that skin barrier. So Pure Peel does not have any plant stem cells in it. However, it does have this jasmonic acid. And so this is where, again, this formulation is so very unique, gives you that instant brightening effect to the skin without the downtime. There really is no heavy sloughing or anything that your clients need to worry about when you are giving them a Pure Peel treatment.
And the amazing bounce back that the skin does is just so impressive. That plumpness,
Yes.
incredible.
It is a very unique application, and we actually cover that in our Smart Peels Advantage course, as well as we kind of do a deep dive when we have our interactive studio classes as well. And then we have our latest technology with our liposalvation delivery with our Exotech. Now you can see here on the top right-hand part of the screen right here, this is our Exotech kind of icon symbol that we have within all of our packaging. So when you're looking at your specification sheets in your manuals, or you're looking at our product packaging, this Exotech symbol is going to show you that there is that exotechnology within our specific products. Within the Smart Peels line, this is where we're looking at both our Exo Mandelic as well as our Exo Retinoid. Now, what makes Exotech and liposalvation so unique and so effective is what you want to look towards is the fact that we're taking a bioactive. So our bioactives that we're using in our Smart Peels are going to be mandelic acid, as well as our retinol. So we take this active chemical and we attach it. It's linked to a fat molecule or a lipid. And this enables it to be able to penetrate into the skin, but it's going to give us less inflammation, less irritation, and it's going to drop into the skin in the sense that it will slowly pass through the lipid layers of the skin and then create a volumizing or a hydrating effect to the skin. So about 24 to 48 hours after those peels, you have this beautiful and wonderful kind of plumping or volumized effect that happens to the skin. So where most of our other traditional or classic, as you will, Smart Peel solutions, most of the time when you think of a chemical peel, it works from the outside in. This is where Exotech is very, very unique. It's that regenerative property in the fact that it's going to work from the inside out. And so this is where, again, it's going to initiate and create that volumizing effect, that plumping effect that it's really wanting to, it will not disrupt that barrier. There's no pH value with your two Exotech peels in the sense, again, because of the liposalvation. So when we look at our full spectrum of peels, this is where what the skin needs. Again, we're using that little phrase that you'll say, and it's almost like if you reach out probably to one of your Lero reps and you're like, I'm struggling, I'm not sure which peel to use on my client. And they're like, okay, tell me about your client. And they'll come back and say, but what does the skin need? And that's kind of like your inner voice that tells you.
It's the little Tiffany on your shoulder. What does the skin need?
What does the skin need? Well, the barrier is totally compromised, so we need to address that first. So that's when we're like, okay, we're going to use an Exo Peel today. But the beauty of having that total and complete comprehensive portfolio of solutions to be able to choose from is very unique with Lyra Clinical in the sense that, you know, being able to choose from so many different ones and being able, again, to have that creative freedom in your back to decide exactly what and customize to that specific client's lifestyle and skin needs. You have the opportunity to go from progressive to aggressive. You can, again, target those primary skin conditions, including rosacea, depending upon the solution, as well as a variety of other skin conditions, and always considering the skin barrier. We're always going to consider that barrier health. We don't want to overly compromise the skin that we're going to come into over-compromised situations in the future.
I agree. And I think that more and more people are compromising that skin barrier too often with different things that they're trying from TikTok or, you know, from other means. The skincare industry has definitely blown up in that industry, in that social media component.
Oh yeah.
And it's creating it's wreaking havoc for a lot of our professionals out there. Wouldn't you agree, professionals?
It's well, I'm going to be an influencer and now I'm an expert on skin. Are you?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, put a little more Vaseline on your face and there you have it. You have the glazed look.
Right.
So when you see that, this is a wonderful kind of visual that you can see where Lyra Clinical truly offers that full spectrum of smart peels. We're not just offering, you know, your alpha hydroxy. We have glycolic acid and we have salicylic acid. Well, of course, yes, everyone has those, but again, it's the way that they are combined. It's that combination of ingredients and being able to have the opportunity and understand all the different avenues that you have available to you to really, again, enforce that healthy skin function and still consider the barrier. So you can see here where we have everything from mechanical with our green power, our unique carboxylic acids, beta hydroxys, enzymes, HAs, retinoids, and of course we have those chemicals such as our mineral jester and our mineral TCA. So what we have here is just kind of what we're going to do is a little bit of an overview of all of our solutions. One of the things that I like to kind of emphasize is, again, this is an introduction to all of our solutions. So by way of protocols, specific applications, this is where reaching out to your Lyra Clinical representative or hopping on lyraclinical.com, you can see a variety and multiple demonstration videos as well as protocols that are available for all of these solutions. So with that, again, if you are new to Lyra, I would encourage you to make sure that you set up your account online with lyraclinical.com and be able to access all of those assets available to you. Within our enzyme category, we have both our VitaBright as well as our Pumpkin Plus. Now, VitaBright, I will tell you, is our #1 selling solution hands down for the simple fact that it is one of the most universal. And again, it has our exclusive mass tech in there. So it really has the opportunity to address all skin conditions. What we have on here, as you can see, is the peel type, application time, application style, and whether or not this solution can be delivered with our green power. Now you will see all 4 of these categories on every single one of the slides that we will be reviewing today. So with peel type, you can see that both our VitaBright as well as our Pumpkin Plus are going to be time dependent. No longer than 5 minutes is going to be that application. The beauty of enzymes is the versatility that you have to be able to apply and determine what's going to work best for your client. And both of these solutions can be delivered into the skin with the green power. I will say if you are using our Pumpkin Plus, keyword in there is plus, it is not your traditional pumpkin treatment. It does have plus, it does have spice, and we absolutely love our Pumpkin Plus now that we are coming into fall. So with that, we have that opportunity again to be able to offer a variety.
We have a couple questions, Tiffany. So regarding the shelf life of our peels, 2 years, or are they all the same? And the quick answer is pure peel needs to be used once open, right? Within, I would say, in a cool, dry place within the week. But they're actually,
yeah, with our pure peel, where it is packaged just a little bit differently, it is packaged in a single dose. So ideally, that pure peel, it gives you enough solution that you have the opportunity to apply up to 3 layers on the face as well as the décolleté. So depending upon where you're using that solution, of course, you might have some left over. So with that, making sure that it is sealed totally and properly with that rubber stopper, cool, dry place, it will last up to 6 months. What I usually recommend is really try to use it up within the month if you
Yeah.
have that opportunity to. Now, all of our other peeling solutions, with properly stored, once opened, their shelf life is going to be 6 months. Now, if they're unopened and properly stored, they do have that shelf life up to 2 years. But again, once again, that is with the actual bottle sealed. So this is where, again, you will notice that depending upon how long you've been with the company, our peel bottles actually used to be larger. But again, because of how many solutions we have, as well as the frequency that some of our clients were using them, it was just too much. And so with that, to be able to turn over their back bar products easier and more efficiently, this is where we made our peel bottles a little bit smaller, those sizes smaller, cut the price in half, cut the bottle in half.
Well, and
And
also
so,
by industry standard, it usually says it on our bottles as well, like once
yes,
opened with a little
absolutely. And if
jar.
you turn any of our product packaging around, it will give you kind of that standardized symbol with the little, kind of looks
Jar
like
open.
a jar open, and it'll tell you how long. But as a rule of thumb, everything with Lyra Clinical, once it's opened, it has a 6 month shelf life. Unopened, it's 2 years.
And then another question was, can you use the Vitabright on body, not just face?
Absolutely. And that's where I would encourage hopping on to our lyraclinical.com. We actually have an entire clinical treatment guide that has 4 different body treatments and gives you opportunities and options for those body protocols as well. Because here at Lyra, we understand that, skin does not stop at the décolleté, that we have skin from head to toe.
And then I've seen people using Vitabright for 7 to 10 is too much. Is it too much?
7 to
Um,
10, 7 to 10.
Not clear on what that rate is. 7 to 10 minutes, maybe.
Yeah, 7 to
Yeah,
10
minutes.
minutes. Okay.
Yeah.
Usually with their Vitabright, because depending upon the protocol that you are utilizing, that rule of thumb again is going to be 3 to 5 minutes. Now, depending, obviously you're looking at your client, but what our recommendation is 3 to 5 minutes.
And then I would like to add to that. So I think sometimes what happens is also we watch what the industry is doing and also how people are using different type of modalities. So I think maybe some of the tweak of time, application time may have happened over our generations of the products being out.
Yes.
So, we're seeing a little bit more reactive skin because people are over exfoliated or they're doing things at home. So we like to make sure that we're covering all your bases as well. Would you agree?
Oh, absolutely. And especially now, I mean, an excellent example of that is, your clients deciding that they want to dermaplane themselves at home. How many times has that happened to someone?
Yeah.
And they're like,
Yeah.
no, I haven't done anything. And then you put a solution on, you're like, what just happened? Right. And then they're
Right.
like, oh, well, yeah, I dermaplaned because I got it off of whatever, ABC.
Amazon.
Yes. And you're like, okay, well, that's a form of exfoliation.
Yeah. So
So
Karen is asking, can we mix Vitabright with the pumpkin to bump it up?
So that would be cocktailing. And that's where what I usually like to recommend is really making sure that you're feeling comfortable with all of your solutions being used by themselves and how they're going to react in the skin by themselves before you start to cocktail. This is a great way that you can do, that you can, again, as you would say, bump up a treatment. I would consider creating access or utilizing a seal with a dual modality prior to cocktailing. Again, we have the option and the opportunities educationally that we specifically have classes where we dive deep into all of those specific applications. So you have the opportunity to understand the entire spectrum of all of our solutions. So you have the opportunity again where, okay, well, I can put A with B, but maybe if you use C solution, you don't have to do that, and you're going to get the result that you wanted initially anyways.
Very good. I think that's going to cover it.
Awesome. So our next kind of category that we're looking towards is going to be our alpha hydroxy acids. And you can see here with our hydroxy 30 as well as our lactic clear. Now keep in mind hydroxy 30, when it says hydroxy 30, there is 30% glycolic in this solution, but very unique. And of course we had to lyrify it. So it is actually one of the most peptide loaded solutions that we have within our Smart Peels. And I know, if I am not mistaken, our sales manager, April, this is like one of her most favorite solutions. She absolutely is a huge hydroxy 30 fan. But we also have our lactic clear. Lactic clear obviously is a predominantly lactic acid based treatment. But one of the things I like to highlight again is that application time. We encourage no more than 5 minutes when we are doing our protocols with both of these solutions. Neither one of these solutions should be used to deliver green power into the skin. And of course, you do have that opportunity with an aesthetic swipe or gauze. We usually don't lean towards a fan brush or either one of these solutions, just to give you a little bit more of a clinical approach with the progressiveness of both solutions. And then, of course, we have our exomandelic, and you'll notice it's kind of a little bit of a category by itself. Yes, it is hydroxy acid because it's a predominant, mandelic acid peel. However, it does have our liposalvation, that exotech in there. So one of the unique things that you want to remember about our exomandelic is the fact that this is a self-neutralizing treatment. So where you've seen with our lactic and hydroxy that these are time dependent, they'll need to be removed from the skin. Our exomandelic is not. You do not remove it. You have the opportunity to actually layer it. And so this is where, again, making sure that you're reviewing with your Lyra clinical representative and taking some of our Smart Peel classes is really going to help you feel a lot more comfortable with those applications. This is not a green power delivered solution, but we also can see here that it's both pregnancy safe as well as rosacea. So this is one nice thing we always encourage, obviously with your pregnant clientele. The two solutions are exomandelic as well as Vitabright. Physician's approval is always great, but this is a wonderful application that we have the opportunity to address rosacea, where again,
Not
it's
many
very
peels
difficult to find those, trying to get rid of my highlighter there, to try to find those applications for those rosacea clients and be able to initiate and rebuild the barrier.
Well, we have a number of questions popping up right now. So are you okay with us answering some?
Absolutely.
Right now? Okay, let's get to them. Okay, so we have the question about any peels that can help for eye bags, so around the eye area. Do you want to talk a little bit about how we suggest and where we should go and not go with our peels?
So with, in regards to eye bags and the skin around the eye area, first and foremost, I cannot emphasize enough home care. With your daily home care applications, this is going to be key, especially around the eye area, because that skin is thinner. It's just, as I like to say, it's built different, right? Because we don't have as many sebaceous glands up there and all the things. And so with that, we actually have two amazing eye creams. In regards to eye bags, I will say I kind of defer a little bit more to our Pro Refining Eye Cream. Now, this eye cream is very, very unique in the sense that you have the opportunity to take this eye cream all the way down to the crease on the eyelid, and you can take it all the way up to the lash line underneath the eye. And the reason that we have the opportunity, and this is so fantastic, is the fact that it has not only hydroxyzone delivered retinaldehyde, but it also has exosome technology in it. So this gives you that opportunity to address those specific eye bags directly on a daily basis. So that would be my first and foremost recommendation when we're looking at, deciding what am I going to do with a protocol. Now, in regards to a specific solution, we always recommend that that orbital bone is going to be that application. Our solutions themselves are not going to pool or drip, because you can see here with the application style, we're encouraging that aesthetic wipe or a soft gauze application. However, with remembering that dependent upon why those eye bags are there by way of what the skin needs, if this is a client that is experiencing it due to genetics, this is something that is going to be extremely difficult to have a heavy corrective effect. And so that regard, making sure that your client understands expectations and goals that we have, always under promise, over deliver. But with the eye area, I have found that your daily home care program is going to be ideal. Yeah. We do have an actual eye treatment that is utilizing our Mystique lifting mask that I recommend over applying some of your heavier resurfacing solutions directly into the eye, or so up to the lash line.
Great, thank you so much. That was really informative. What about layers with our hydroxy 30, lactic, and exomandelic? So we talk about layer dependent. On rule of thumb, do we want to say how many layers each one of them will
so we want to remember that hydroxy 30 and lactic clear are not layered solutions. They are they are time dependent. So the way that they're penetrating is going to be a time dependent. They're not applied in a layer. What the recommendation with both of these solutions is going to be is that we remember that when we're applying it, if you do want to work it into the skin, that is going to be obviously on a case-by-case basis. And remembering that if you're manually manipulating any type of solution into the skin, it's going to enhance that penetration. Please keep in mind that both of these solutions, they are very active solutions. So making sure that you're not going over that application time, or if you are altering the application recommendation, that you really need to make sure that that your client has treatment ready skin, and that that you are neutralizing that, because it is a time dependent solution thoroughly. Now with Exotech, again, Exotech you can layer up to 2 times. That is the recommended protocol from Lyra.
Now, I like to add to this. So sometimes when we're doing layers, people forget to watch to see what the product is doing and how the skin is responding. So when you're applying a layer dependent acid, we also want to see, okay, is the skin not really taking this in too fast? Are we waiting a long time? Because we do ask you to wait in between layers so the skin can have time to respond to the peel.
Yes.
So if you're seeing that what's the point of doing another layer if the skin is just saying, hey, I'm good, we don't need to, I'm not going to take in too much more product.
100%. And that's where, again, some of these rules and tips and tricks and all of these things, these are things that we go in depth with our Smart Peels Advantage class, as well as our interactive studio course, indicating, hey, this is what the client's skin is looking like. This is the option or the opportunities that I have to either, take a step back or make the treatment more progressive.
Yeah, and just like when we put our SPFs on too, we always say, make sure the product's absorbed a little bit before you start putting an SPF that might roll. So that's definitely a tip right there. I'm going to ask another question. I know we have to move on to a couple more slides to get through this webinar, but a really good one. So some people want to know if we should use a cleanser when removing our peels, and we typically say just cool towels.
Right. So when we're looking at a self-neutralizing solution, obviously there's no water or removal involved. It self-neutralizes itself. It's not removed from the skin. And the recommendation is to leave the skin alone for the most part, no cleansing for a minimum of 6 to 8 hours. Let the products do the work for your skin and for that correction. Now, if we are dealing with a time-dependent solution, like for example, we have our hydroxy and lactic, these are going to be time-dependent. So anytime you see something that is time-dependent, it will be neutralized initially with cool water. And then almost always we do utilize our pH solution directly after. What we want to remember is with time dependent, it's neutralized with water until the client no longer feels any activity on the skin. So that client is at a 0. And usually what I like to say is we always do one extra pass to cover your booty. So because making sure that everything is removed, because directly underneath the chin, right on that upper lip area. Another area I always make sure I kind of do a double swipe is right in front of the ear, kind of back towards the cheek jawline area, because again, that if you continue to leave that solution on, it is going to continue to penetrate into the skin. And all of Lyra Clinical's formulations are formulated to be neutralized with water.
And then as we're moving forward, LED and pre or post peel.
With LED, I would actually defer to our clinical manual. We have multiple device assisted protocols that we have that it do incorporate not only red light, but also blue light as well. With that, I would defer to those protocols and encourage to reach out to your Lyra clinical representative. And also always look towards that manufacturer guideline. For the most part, when we're working with LED light, that we do recommend that it is on bare skin. And then obviously it's totally dependent upon the solution, whether or not that LED is going to be performed before or after. We actually have a really great podcast in our skin depth combo that was earlier this year that we actually were discussing with one of LightStim's educators, Richard, and he goes in depth in regards to incorporating and combining smart peel solutions with LED. So we also have our beta hydroxy acids. Now our 2 beta hydroxy acids you can see here are Sal Pulp and Beta Plus. Both of these are salicylic acid based, obviously with a 20%. Both are self-neutralizing, both are layer dependent. One of the key components that we see the difference between the two is the fact that our Beta Plus is a free acid sal, where our Sal Pulp has a pulp delivery system, so it's a lot more manageable on the skin. Neither one of our beta hydroxys should be combined with green power as a delivery system. And then of course we have our unique carboxylic acids. So we talked a little bit about our pure peel, and keeping in mind that our pure peel is going to be self-neutralizing. So again, we're going to apply it to the skin. It's not going to be removed. But if we are with any self-neutralizing treatment, we do not want to create another layer until the initial layer is completely absorbed and the client is no longer feeling activity. Now with our Shikemic Plus is a combination with shikemic acid. This one is going to be time dependent. So with our Shikemic Plus, we're looking at an application time of up to 5 minutes. And then of course it's going to be neutralized with cool water. Both our Pure Peel as well as our Shikemic can be a delivery system for green power. I will note that both of these solutions with green power are a fairly progressive treatment. So making sure that you understand and have applied each solution by itself initially on the skin and feel comfortable with the application prior to combining.
There's some really great questions coming up. Let's see. So I know often Lyra has some protocols that use flash peeling with Beta Plus or Sal Pulp. as an access step prior to going on to an additional resurfacing solution. Could you do the same using lactic or hydroxy 30 instead of the betas, depending on the skin type?
You know, that's really it's really dependent. And to be honest, when we're starting to utilize AHAs in that manner, this is actually covered in our studio class as well as our advanced peeling courses. So I would encourage you to reach directly out to your rep or education in regards to those application techniques.
And we just got some feedback about, Bailey, thank you for giving us that feedback about the Pure Peel with Green Power and how it was so amazing and that your skin loved it. That's great. And we love hearing that. And yes, both of those are my favorites. Just to clarify, Green Power delivery means you are able to mix the peel with Green Power. That is
Correct.
definitely one of those ways to introduce Green Power to the skin.
And I mean, I'll be honest, that application, if you're doing Green Power with combining it with a Smart Peel solution, that should not be the initial treatment that client is having.
No.
So then we have our chemical category, and now our chemical category, you can see here, it has that little bit of an asterisk there because we do have our mineral Gesner as well as our mineral TCA. Both of these are chemical solutions. They're both self-neutralizing and layer dependent. Neither one of these solutions should be combined with our Green Power. Now, depending upon your location, where you're located, whether domestically or internationally, as well as the amount of hours that are recommended or provided in your training programs or schooling that you have received, that will be dependent on whether or not you qualify for that purchase of the mineral Gesner and the mineral TCA. These are solutions that are more progressive. And in that regard, again, that it's kind of dependent upon obviously your licensure as well. Lyra Clinical is not the licensed police, but in that regard as well, that's something that, you know, making sure that you understand what your insurance covers you to do as well.
And
our mineral, oh, go ahead, Lou.
One more question. Well, there's two questions. In doing so with the Green Power and the Pure Peel, does this buffer the peel or make it more powerful?
Ooh, actually, it makes it more powerful.
Yeah,
so
definitely. Delivering it two different ways, that, you know, essentially, right?
100%. So depending upon, well, your familiarity with Lyra Clinical Smart Peels and our GPS system, our Guide and Protect system, when you are putting Pure Peel with Green Power, that is automatically a GPS 2 treatment. So if you are combining Green Power with any Smart Peel solution, it's a GPS 2. All of those types of protocols and treatments are actually, that's one of the things that we dive deep with our studio class with. So again, I would encourage you to reach out to your rep or hop on lyraclinical.com to get more information on whether you qualify for that class and where it is located nearest you.
And then with the Mandelic breastfeeding, is that okay if someone is breastfeeding?
With that, you know, again, we always are going to defer to the medical professional initially, but with that, we say exomandelic is just fine with physician approval.
Perfect.
With our retinoid category, now we used to only have retinol with our mineral retinol solution, but now we have the opportunity to introduce, of course, our exo-retinoid. Two things that I like to kind of point out with both of these. Both of these are both amazing solutions, but they both do two very different things. They are self-neutralizing, they are layer dependent. Neither are Green Power delivery. However, what we want to look towards is our exo-retinoid, again, because of that liposalvation, is going to work from the outside, from the inside out. It has that hydrating, volumizing effect. It's not going to initiate any peeling of the skin. If there is remotely anything, it might be a little bit of sloughing around that perioral area. Now with our mineral retinol, it works the exact opposite. It works from the outside in. It creates that seal to initiate more peeling. And so that's where, if you want, you know, that physical slough, or you want a little bit more of, you know, that desquamation on the skin, this is where the mineral retinol is going to work best for you. Both solutions, like I said, absolutely fabulous. But it's like, what does the skin need? What do I want the skin, what do I want to achieve? And then, of course, finally, we have our mechanical, or our green power. This is a great kind of illustration that you can see of what can I incorporate with green power to achieve those results. Now, when we were talking about a variety of different things, what I always initiate and encourage to do is, if you're introducing green power to a client, start with a cleanser and graduate up. This is where you can find cleansers are going to be, obviously we're mixing it with a cleanser. And what we want to remember with any solution, the greener the solution, the more aggressive it's going to be on the skin. Now, if we are applying it with a cleanser, we put the cleanser on, maybe we do a little bit of a massage, and we take it off, right? When we're using a mask, now we have the opportunity, it's going to be delivered differently into the skin. We're going to leave it on longer, but it's also going to have, you know, more active agents that it is working with. Serums are going to be much more concentrated in a thinner viscosity, being able, again, to be able to penetrate into the skin transdermally differently. And of course, then once we hit a smart peel solution, this is where we are working with a GPS-2 treatment. Again, that is not where we hit first.
Yeah.
Less does not mean better. I mean, excuse me. Sometimes less is more. Oh my gosh, I totally rearranged my word right there. What goodness. So that is where, again, you know, making sure that you're feeling comfortable and working with it, you know, in certain aspects and in certain deliveries, and working your way up. The beauty of our green power is the fact that it is a natural microneedling alternative. So again, this is where we kind of have, you know, a variety of clients depending on what you have the opportunity to offer to your clients. If you don't have the opportunity to offer them microneedling, this is an amazing alternative to give just as effective results into the skin, and it's extremely cost effective. So again, and you have the choice to deliver it into the skin the way you want it to. Just a little bit to create some vasodilation in the skin, or do we really want to get in there and see some amazing results with acne scarring?
Tiffany, I had somebody reach out and say that they hadn't seen the 4th handout uploaded yet. So is there a way to make sure that on your end, I'm not seeing it now that they've mentioned that either. So
you know what?
I want to make sure everybody gets what they need.
If not, I will make sure that, and actually that helps us graduate to our next slide.
Yes.
Because that's what the actual handout was for, I'm excited because I absolutely love this treatment. We do have the opportunity for this that just barely started with our Pumpkin Plus Exo-Retinoid treatment. Now you can see here, obviously we're using Pumpkin Plus, which is absolutely fabulous for the month of September, but we're combining it with our Exo-Retinoid. Now with that, you can see here that we have, you know, our pumpkin. It's a peel peptide and probiotic. And then we put our Exo-Retinoid in there. So it's going to just help plump and volumize the skin. You can see here on the screen that this is a before and after that we had submitted to us, that we have the opportunity. Pardon me?
It's so amazing. I'm waiting for you to see it, right?
So the interesting and unique thing about this client is this client actually she had rosacea. She actually had gone to a different medical spa and was having treatments. I believe she had laser. And with that, she was still really struggling. And then she went to our account, Skin Science and Aesthetics. He is up, oh, shoot,
In
Lou, he's up
Seattle
in the
area.
Seattle area, isn't
Yeah. He is, David.
he?
Go,
Um,
David.
David sent us this, and this account, he started doing treatments on her with the Exo Mandela and a variety of other Lyra clinical products. And this is where he has now been seeing these amazing, beautiful results. This client is just pleased as punch. But you can see here, this is before and after, and look at the defined difference. Just volumized, brighter, healthier skin. And so again, this is before and directly after that treatment that you can see, again, those instant results. So how do I get this amazing, fabulous treatment? Well, scan the QR code.
Is that our handout right there, that QR code?
This is the handout that was supposed to be there. So I'm not sure what happened to my tiny elves that were going to do that for me, and I apologize, but I will definitely, we will get this available to you. It's also on the website, but it is our Pumpkin Plus Exo Retinoid Treatment Kit. So you can see here, this is all of your products needed in order to perform this treatment. But wait, there's more. You can see here on the right-hand side of your screen that what we're offering with this treatment kit is that you do get our amazing, our bronze application dish. So you get that as well as a fan brush, and then our Lyra pumpkin spice glow candle. So you can have that opportunity to have that, whether it be in your reception area, your treatment room, but it's just a really great way to celebrate this season. And you can scan that QR code. There is again, the protocol as well as the demonstration video that you can watch of this treatment. But I have to say, pumpkin is one of my favorite solutions, and this is a definite go-to and always popular during the season, and where we've now utilized the exoretinoid. I just love this treatment.
Yeah, if Starbucks can actually push the pumpkin, shtick, we should definitely do the same. Works for all of you.
Absolutely. It gives you that glow. It doesn't give you any downtime, and just, your skin just feels amazing. So when you go into the pumpkin patch in your flannel, and of course your high boots, your skin looks great too.
Yeah, and thank you for everybody that's been mentioning that they only see the 3 handouts at this point. So the last slide is the handout that we were trying to make sure was adjusted.
Yes.
We can add that to the outgoing email tomorrow with
absolutely 100%. So we will make sure that by end of day today that you'll get a quick email, and it will have the information with the protocol specific with this kit.
And then I see someone's experiencing some glitching and they can't see the full prompts or presentation. So tomorrow you should also be receiving a copy of the video.
Yes.
Hoping that will give you the opportunity to see it fully. But
yes.
Please let us know if there's any concerns. You can reach out to us at education@lyraclinical.com.
Mm-hmm. So just kind of wrapping up and looking just as a review, what we always like to encourage is just remembering that with your Smart Peel treatments, they still are resurfacing treatments. And so with that, we always encourage that you are going to perform that assessment initially. And we always recommend that you perform a hybrid treatment as a baseline for all of your clients. And with that, again, initiating with our product anatomy if you're new to Lyra, followed by our Smart Peels Advantage, and then graduating up with those classes really takes you through it step by step. Making sure that your clients have been on active home care for at least 2 weeks prior to performing a Smart Peel treatment is definitely that minimum essential treatment ready skin, because we want to make sure that that skin is treatment ready to be able to receive that treatment all the time. And then of course we have the opportunity to customize that Smart Peel protocol exactly to what the skin needs. So overall, when we look towards these things, again, looking to the fact that Lyra really truly is a global leader in our clinical resurfacing solutions. Taking that one step further into that clinical arena and understanding that, you do have to consider the healthy function of the skin, those foundational functions, from hydration to defense, exfoliation, even the structure of the skin. All of these things need to be addressed when we are looking at our clinical treatments and considering the barrier. Minimize downtime, limited inflammation. Clients do not want, for the most part, want their face, peeling off and falling into their soup during dinner. They do want that glow and go. They want that minimized downtime, that they can come in, have a treatment, and go back to work, no problem. Because most people now, even if they're not, in a forward-facing person-to-person business or job, most of the time now they're going to be doing that on a digital level as well. And so again, making sure that downtime is very, very minimal. And all skin types and conditions. We have such a molding pot with Fitzpatrick's now that nearly everyone is kind of almost always falling into that Fitzpatrick 4 category. So making sure that we have solutions and opportunities for corrections for all skin types, as well as skin conditions. We know that rosacea especially is one of those conditions that's really just ever increasing, not just in one specific demographic, but globally. And that will give you a teeny tiny plug to make sure that you sign up for our rosacea webinar.
Definitely.
And of course, that ingredient innovation that just I am so blessed to be able to be a part of, and being able to offer that barrier support with our liposalvation, just being able to be the trend, be ahead of everyone else, and being able to offer that to give you those results that are needed. So with that in mind, we've kind of discussed a little bit throughout this presentation. How do I get started with Lyra? Where do I start? Where do I go? How do I have the opportunity to be able to really, feel comfortable and feel comfortable with the entire spectrum of all of these amazing solutions? And this is where you can really just head towards Lyra EDU. You get to it through lyraclinical.com. But what you want to look at is kind of taking those step by steps. The first initial class is on demand now, so you have the opportunity that you can take it anytime you want, or you can take it digitally live with the fabulous Lou, with our product anatomy, kind of going through all of those treatments. Also reach out to your Lyra Clinical rep, because they a lot of the times have other times that they have the opportunity that they will do product anatomy digitally live as well. And then of course, once product anatomy has been completed, then you have the opportunity to take and kind of dive a little bit deeper into the Smart Peels Advantage. Now, Smart Peels Advantage has now been combined, so we kind of go through part 1 a little bit, and then we go into the part 2. And of course, once that has been completed, you have the opportunity digitally, then we go into our in-person interactive studio class. And that's where this is a regional class that happens. It is in person that we dive deep into, incorporating the different solutions, being able to access, being able to, seal those solutions, and being able to really just understand the process and how those specific solutions work into the skin. So you can see here kind of that step by step that we have available, that takes you through digitally with product anatomy, Smart Peels, and then of course finally being able to take the interactive studio class after you've completed your product anatomy and Smart Peels. So where is our studio classes coming to next? I will say this coming Monday, the Nashville one is sold out. But I do believe, depending upon the city, some of them are a lot fuller than others. However, I think all of them still have at least a couple of spots left. So if you are interested in any of these studio classes in your area, please make sure that you reach out to your rep and they can give you definitely additional information. But this is a hands-on class. This is an interactive class. So you get to be kind of up close and personal with me and Lou, being able to, kind of walk you through step by step. And every single person in the class does give themselves a treatment. So we have that opportunity to really create that safe space to be able to kind of try new things and be and feel comfortable with all of your solutions.
Yeah, I think it's wonderful to have the ability to have people who have been with Lyra, because it's not just that third step, right? It's actually like a re-education, refresh. We have new products. You get to experience new things. People are very interactive. I myself, the reps are participating. We really do engage with the clients, and then how the clients engage with each other. It's a really great experience. So
yeah, great way to network, definitely, within your region and stuff like that. And I will say, just coming back from one in Ohio, it's not necessarily just the locals that attend. Hey, I want to go to Seattle. Go to Seattle. Go see all the super fun stuff down at the wharf, and then take your class, make a
that
weekend
Nashville
out of it.
class has got people coming from all over the place. So
Absolutely,
someone wanted to travel to Nashville.
Don't forget your cowboy hat and boots.
Exactly.
And of course, finally, then, I really just want that immersive experience. This is where I cannot emphasize, if you haven't been, you need to go. And this is our Purely Clinical 2.0. This is our global skin affair. And you can see now that we only have 2 dates left this year. The one that's up and coming, this coming Monday in Dallas. And then we do have our one in Boston on October the 20th. This is a full day of all things Lyra Clinical. We start at 8 in the morning. We serve you breakfast, and we go throughout the day. We talk about new ingredients, new protocols, new educational assets, being able to initiate and be a VIP with Lyra Clinical, being able to access and get that VIP access to certain things. We also, end towards 6:30, being able to network with everyone in the actual event. It is just one of those things that is just such a amazing opportunity to be able to have that continuing education under your belt. And it changes every year because, of course, we know that our industry is ever changing. And so, once we are done with Boston, Purely Clinical 3.0 will be coming soon to 2026. So just kind of as a wrap up that we have with everything that we've gone through. Oh, it didn't want to give me that wrap up for very long. We have our digital classes again that you have. Let's try that. The digital classes that you have the opportunity to be able to see. This is where, again, hopping on lyraclinical.com, logging into the professional side of the website, gives you access to on-demand classes, demonstration videos, a variety of treatment guides, as well as in-person classes that are available. You can also go ahead and scan our little QR code. This gives you a wonderful digital library of all of our most recent, treatment guides, as well as a variety of our brochures available that you have digitally that you can look at and download. And of course, I'm always going to say, if you haven't been, you need to go. Purely Clinical. We only have 2 left this year. And then, of course, again, we will be coming out with a brand new Purely Clinical next year. So if you're like, oh, I went to Purely Clinical last year, I don't need to go again. Wrong. You need to go again because it has all new information and all new ingredients that we're talking about, as well as everything as to what is to come.
Yeah, and that's one of those things where remember, as technology changes, our presentations will have to change. Things, we love to try and, offer you guys something else instead of the same thing over and over again.
Yep. So with that, hopefully we got the percentage of all of our questions answered. Again, if you have additional questions, you can reach out to info@lyraclinical.com or education@lyraclinical.com. Or of course, you can reach out directly to your rep or call customer service at 877-440-LYRA, which is 5472. I just want to thank everyone for being with us today. From myself, I hope everyone has a bright, beautiful rest of their week.
Yes, love seeing a lot of the familiar names pop up still. So you guys are amazing for always participating. The more you learn, the better you do.
So from the education team, I hope everyone has an amazing rest of their week and talk soon. Thank you.
Thank you.